The street is blocked by so-called, the street your ambulance is driving down. Here's one. That ambulance is trying to get through to a hospital, but the street is being blocked by so-called activists from the group Just Stop Oil. They're not terribly active as activists go. They're just lying down in the road. But because they're even more inactive, useless, well, there they are lying down in the road, in the Mall, in front of the Queen Victoria Memorial. She has just been sitting there for 120 years. She's got a good excuse because she's dead. They're sitting there for an entirely different reason. And the Metropolitan Police do not do a thing to remove them. So they prevent ambulances and fire engines from getting through. So I don't know whether they've actually succeeded in just stopping oil, but Just Stop Oil have just stopped the emergency services. So next time there's a Grenfell Tower-type fire and you're stuck in the thing, you better hope Just Stop Oil are taking a day off. The Metropolitan Police constables are very indulgent of these fellows. Whether John Constable, no relation, the great English landscape painter, would feel the same way about Just Stop Oil is another matter. The National Gallery Just Stop Oil members glued themselves to his masterpiece, the Haywain. This is the Haywain. That's them. That's the Haywain without Just Stop Oil guys glued to it. I prefer it the old way. I don't think it's a fabulous painting. I don't really think it needed environmental activists stuck to it. They managed to do some surface damage there to one of the great glories of English art. Alex de Koning is a spokesman for Just Stop Oil, and we're very pleased he's able to join us. Alex, what has Constable got to do with stopping oil?
Hi, thanks for having me on the show, Mark. Well, what do you think is more important, life or art? Because that's the sort of questions we're facing right now. There are millions of people being affected by the climate crisis. 33 million people in Pakistan were displaced from floods. Communities, lives, homes destroyed. A 6 times population of Scotland, my country.
Wait, just explain what is the... floods is a meteorological event. It's what we used to call weather. Why are you saying the Pakistan floods are climate change related?
Are you a climate denier, my friend?
I've got no view on it. We're talking about
no view on the fact that it was 40
taking.
degrees Celsius in London just a few months ago. So hot that So hot that train tracks spontaneously combusted. Busiest day for firefighters since World War II. Because 60 homes were going on wildfires in the UK. The NHS was put on black alert.
No, don't. We're talking about what you guys are doing to it. People don't mind 40 degrees Celsius. Everybody
I think the farmers mind.
on these
Half of all potato crops are expected to die from this year, and a third of wheat crops have died.
Wait a minute. Everybody in these rain-sodden islands wants to go somewhere where it's 40 degrees Celsius for their summer holidays.
If you can't
so the idea
food,
that 40 degrees Celsius means the planet's going to... No.
Would you rather have a holiday or a potato crop?
No, we're talking about you guys getting what you want by gluing yourself to the street.
We're talking about global starvation within a decade.
No. We're talking about you guys damaging a great work of art. How does that help you save the planet?
How is the frame of that painting more important?
Well, that painting is one of the great achievements of our civilization.
We glued to the frame of that painting.
Are you opposed to human civilization?
No, I'm not. I'm actually trying to help defend it by making sure that we don't have any more fossil fuel licenses in the UK. That's what we're demanding. Because as soon as we have more oil in the UK, we're going to face societal collapse. As I say, we're already facing food shortages, and it's 2022. How bad do you think things are going to get in 10 years' time? I'm only 24. Every single year for the rest of my life, it's going to get worse.
We're talking about your plan to change the world by gluing yourself to the street. By the way, are you aware that petroleum is used not just to fill your car up and drive around, but it's used in a zillion other products? When you guys glue yourself to the street. Are you aware that fossil fuel products are used in almost every superglue? Are you using fossil fuels to glue yourself to the road?
You're always going for the hypocritical argument because you know you have no other argument to fall back on. Look, you could have said all of this decades
I don't
ago,
understand
but
the
at
point.
this point we've had 40 degrees temperatures in the UK and we're facing a cost of living crisis and still subsidising the fossil fuel industry with £236 million every single week. There's nothing you can push back on with me.
Yeah, we can. We've got 40 degrees temperatures for 48 hours. More people are dying. We've got more excess deaths.
People died in those 48 hours.
Yeah, well, we've got 1,000 extra deaths a week, and nobody gives a crap about them, including you. Let me ask you something. You're doing a PhD.
Yes.
You're doing a PhD, is that correct?
Yeah, in green hydrogen production. But I've taken 7 months out of that very relevant PhD to do this full time because what we do as scientists means nothing if the government's not willing to implement it. While we're still subsidising the fossil fuel industry, everything else we do, all the scientific research, that's just mopping up with the tap open.
No, but hold on here. Most people in the UK cannot afford to take 7 months off from their PhD.
I'm very lucky to be able to do so.
You're not blocking big oil billionaires. You're blocking the working classes of the United Kingdom from getting to their jobs or even from getting to their hospitals.
Mark.
What's that got to do with saving the planet? This is a class thing. It's a pampered, privileged guy taking a 7-month break
You're a
from his...
multi-millionaire and I'm a student.
Wait a minute. How do you know I'm a multi-millionaire?
Your net worth is on Google, mate.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. Certainly my lawyers will be pleased to hear that because they're worried I can't pay my legal bills. But listen...
I'm worried I can't pay my energy bills. That's why I want all the homes in the UK to be insulated.
No.
That's why I want public transport subsidised. These are our demands, and they're very reasonable demands. Why are we taxing the big oil companies and using that to do renewable energy? Renewable energy is currently 9 times cheaper than gas. Why are we not switching to that? Why do I feel like I'm losing my mind
There's not enough of it. It's not the per unit cost.
I'm doing the PhD.
This is where you're all wrong.
I'm the climate scientist here. Trust me, there is enough. I don't think wind is running out anytime soon. Is solar running out anytime soon?
Do you agree with Greta? What about Greta Thunberg, then, who has called for Germany to keep the nuclear plants going because Germany can't keep the lights on and can't keep the heat on? It's done all the things you wanted and it can't produce enough energy. The unit cost is irrelevant. You've got to be able to provide enough of it to all citizens of the country.
If your energy bills were £3,500 or £400, what would you rather?
You can't make enough of it. You could stick a windmill on your head and the head of everybody's...
We could be using tidal energy. Tidal energy. We live on an island. Why aren't we doing that? We can get over 10% of our entire energy from tidal power alone. Currently, only 9.8% of our energy is from renewable sources. Only 9.8.
Yeah, and you can't, and you have no way of replacing oil powers modern lives. Everything. It's in everything from the clothes, including a lot of the clothes you wear, including the clothes you wear, including toilet seats, including aspirin. All these things contain fossil fuel products. So we should just give up. The climate crisis doesn't exist because there's a bit of oil and some toilet paper. Is that what you're telling me? Well, wait a minute. What is the manifestation of the crisis?
What do you mean?
Do you think the hurricane in Florida is a manifest?
Say again?
Do you think OK, well, let me ask you something going back to that Constable painting. You guys replaced the Constable painting with a painting of the way that scene would look now, with a big truck coming past the middle of the scene and a plane flying overhead. Are you in favour of immigration?
Why are we talking about immigration?
Well, because you're talking about carbon footprint. Yeah, no, we're talking about the climate crisis and carbon footprints. And a guy in Somalia has a carbon footprint. I think it's a 1/70th of a carbon footprint in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we
every night you see all these people moving from Somalia to the United Kingdom and acquiring a UK-sized carbon footprint. Where do you stand on immigration?
What has this got to do? We need to be cutting our own emissions. We need to be subsidising public
No,
transport,
because that's
insulating our
what's...
homes. There's no reason for us not to be insulating our homes.
No, that's
it cuts
what's...
our energy bills
if you're
in half.
If you're going to glue yourself to great English landscapes, what screwed the English countryside is massively increasing the population of an overcrowded
That's
island.
got nothing to do
so I'm
with it.
interested to know if you're so
Overcrowded?
concerned about the
I'm from
loss...
Scotland. We have tons of highlands.
But nobody's going there. They're going to... You're the ones who damaged the Constable. So if you want Constable's England back, where do you stand on mass immigration? Where do you stand on mass immigration?
I have no problem with immigration. Are you being racist right now?
Oh, well, there you go then. There you go then. So everyone will be leading a UK-sized consumer lifestyle with a UK-sized carbon footprint.
We need to cut our own
Let me
emissions.
ask you this.
We need to not... We're not worried about immigration.
This is class warfare.
It's not class warfare.
Pampered. It's pampered PhDs at war with the work. Who are you stopping in the streets? Do you think you're stopping any oil billionaires? You're stopping people trying to get to work, trying to get to hospital. You're stopping fire engines.
No. Look, that
You
ambulance...
said something very interesting.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Going to answer that question?
No, you said something very... No, you can answer the question.
Okay, we did not block an ambulance. It was delayed for 3 minutes. We have a blue lights policy. We let all emergency vehicles through. The siren wasn't on, so we didn't realise it in time. And then 2 Just Stop Oil people guided it through the roadblock, myself included. If you watch the video for longer than the 20 seconds that you showed, you will see that happen. The ambulance gets through. It takes 3 minutes. However, when there was the heat wave in the UK, where it was 40 degrees, ambulances were put on black alert, as I said earlier. There was so much disruption caused from that, and 1,775 people died. Why are we not talking about that instead?
Well,
you were even talking about at the beginning of your
people...
show that 15 hours ambulances would have to wait in car parks, and that there was so many tailbacks. We're talking about 3 minutes of disruption.
No, yeah, the NHS is kaput. It's broken. But what are you said on television a couple of days ago...
One of the reasons why the NHS is kaput, as you put it, is because there are people dying from the cold during the winter. Thousands upon thousands of people. One of my friends is a paramedic. He's in Just Stop Oil. Yeah. And he told me that the amount of times he has to go out to a home and he finds somebody just sitting dead and cold with a mouldy fridge just in their armchair because they died from fuel poverty. They couldn't choose between heating and eating. So they just died. Yeah. That happens every single year, thousands of times. If we insulated homes, if we switched to renewable energy, which was 9 times cheaper...
It's happened in this century because of the war waged on traditional energy sources by stupid governments that have shut down coal mining, stopped fracking, find nuclear distasteful... No, you're living in the dark ages. It's nice, unless it's outside your front door. It's nice to have a big wind turbine. Your wind turbines can't do it. Your wind turbines can't produce enough energy.
They really can.
No, yes, they can't. Look at Germany. Do you disagree with the sainted Greta Thunberg? Who's now come out all for keeping the nuclear plants open? You don't disagree with Saint Greta, do you?
Look, for Germany, it takes time to make renewable energy sources. But we have 8 years of oil in reserve, and it takes 6 weeks to build the UK's largest solar panel farm. Whereas for oil, it would take, on average, 25, 28 years to get new oil from a fossil fuel license. We don't have 25, 28 years to wait. I mean, look outside. It's the hottest October in ever. It was 40 degrees in the UK. We are struggling with our food crops. We don't have that long to wait.
It was 40 degrees for 48 hours, and then it went back to being, you know, whatever it is, 12 degrees and cloudy. We follow the weather every day. And that 40-degree thing was the only interesting bit of British weather until the hurricane
we have the worst drought in 500 years.
Since the hurricane. So that doesn't mean anything. And incidentally, when we have these
potato crops that have been destroyed.
Yeah, no. We're getting out of the farming business. Bill Gates says we've got to eat insects, so we won't need potatoes, we won't need dairy, we won't need beef.
The reason we'll have to eat insects is because we can no longer farm because we're having droughts.
No, it's something to do with having droughts. We can no longer have farm because the bovine flatulence is destroying the planet. Thank you very much, Alex. We appreciate hearing your view. As I said, I do hope,
and I hope all your
you're not gluing yourself to the highway.
Downing Street every single day.
Yeah, well, don't glue yourself outside Downing Street with glue containing fossil fuels and petroleum. It is extremely hypocritical. Yeah, well, try and find some organic super glue that hasn't got the petroleum in it. This isn't the suffragettes. This isn't We Shall Overcome in the 1960s. This is a march of the woke privileged against the working classes of the UK. You can have the last word, Alex.
Woke privilege? I mean, come on, are you serious? We need no new oil.
No,
everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
No.
There's no future with fossil fuels. We're in a climate crisis. If you're worried about the cost of living crisis, if you're worried about the climate crisis and you want to see how they're interconnected, come to a Just Stop Oil talk, find out some more information.
No, the cost of living is the cost of indulging you guys with this
it's the cost of greed.
Nonsense for the last 20 years.
Fossil fuel companies making £7 billion in pure profit every 3 months.
It's the cost of oil has been for a century what has powered the most prosperous civilization in history. And as I said, it's in everything aside from the tank of your car. And there's nothing that can replace that. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate hearing your view. Up next, we're going to hear your take. gbviews at gbnews.uk. Plus, Leilani Dowding gets rebuked by the Full Fact Fact Check.